Raiders and the Chargers was both 500.
Oh, we're starting now.
The Raider way, or the Raider tenets of commitment to excellence, just win, baby. Once a Raider, always a Raider.
To the back, and he's caught! There for the touchdown! Zach Wilson throws in traffic. It's picked off by Robert Spillane. Spillane taking off. He's down. He's in a little bit of trouble, but Adams gets him out of it. He got free in the secondary to the 23-yard. Adams, he's got it! Touchdown Raiders! Oh, a dice roll in Vegas for 6. The Raiders at the 40-yard line, and O'Connell wants to take a deep shot. And he's got Trey Tucker out there, Tucker diving, and he makes the catch inside the 10.
As a young guy, I had a dream that someday I would build the finest organization in professional sports.
You know, that's where we really should move. That would stick it to him.
Big birthday in Vegas this year. Love Vegas.
The man who became defined by 3 words was ready to make history on that day.
Just win, baby.
Breaking news, the Raiders have a new general manager coming.
The Las Vegas Raiders are hiring John Spytek as their new general manager. Breaking news into First Take, Adam Schefter tweeted moments ago, Pete Carroll and the Raiders now have reached an agreement on a 3-year deal.
Pete Carroll's the coach to go build up the Raiders. This is a great...
With the 6th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select Ashton Genty, running back, Boise State.
I've got that lightning inside me, son of a god. I'm like a titan that's rising on just you watch. I'm stepping into fate. There is no time to waste. I've got that lightning inside me. This is how legends are made. This is how legends are made. This is how legends are made. I'm cranking up on the throttle, victory is mine. Show you the harder the battle, harder I fight. I've come too far to quit. Step back, I'm going in. I'm cranking up on the throttle. This is how legends are made. This is how legends are made.
Salute Raider Nation. Appreciate you all showing up here. Salute to the chat. Salute to the mods in the chat. Salute to everybody here on the panel. Harvey, Rudy, whoever else ends up showing up here in a little bit. Really do appreciate it. So if you guys want to give a shout out, feel free.
What's up, everybody out there? It's the #1 Raider Stunner. What? First of all, I just got to say this. Merry Christmas to everybody in Raider Nation. Salute to Dustin and salute to Rudy. And let's turn this mother out.
Yeah, nice one. Yeah, this is Raider Nation Forever 1979, of course, as Rudy. Yeah, Merry Christmas to everyone. And as you can see, my avatar with an alien dressed up like Santa Claus smoking a bong. Thought it'd be a little funny and be in the Christmas spirit. The expectations of the Raiders is very low, but maybe next year we might get some more talent. Depends on what we do. We don't know. We just got to see what we can do.
Facts. So I don't know. There's a bunch of things I want to talk about tonight. One of the main things is it's going to be about the Tom and Pete conversation. Want to talk about the game here. Want to talk about a lot of things that are going on throughout the whole entire year. So, Pete came into the organization. He talked about the whole entire time that he would, never been anywhere, 10+ wins. He talked up that this is one of the better teams that he's been around, secondaries, so on. Pete talked about a lot of things about the team, like when he came over here, the Raiders gave the guy full control of the team. Basically, they let him pick his players. They let him bring in his quarterback. They let him run basically through free agency, the draft. They've given Pete the whole entire reins to the whole show, so it's really been the Pete show here. And all year long, we've been struggling over and over and over. Gino has been struggling big time. I mean, damn dude's 15 interceptions in. You have Tua that's been benched due to the fact that he was being bad play, but we won't bench Gino type shit. So long story short, there was a lot of people talking about that, when Pete Carroll was hired, that it was a Tom Brady hire. And that's just got to be the biggest BS there was, because when Tom Brady came in the offseason, he wanted to hire Ben Johnson and Mike Vrabel. And those two hires didn't work out. They ended up getting stuck with Pete. And did he end up signing off and telling yeah, we can hire Pete, we don't have nobody else to hire Pete? Yeah, but Tom Brady never wanted the Pete hire to begin with. It wasn't his choice. It wasn't one of the people. Brady wanted to go after a young-minded coach like Bobby Slowick, Ben Johnson, like I said, Mike Vrabel, somebody of the younger mind that would be able to bring a more modern offense or modern defense to the team here. So long story short, Tom never even wanted the hire of Pete Carroll. And here at the end of the year, there's been multiple talks within the building. There's been multiple talks about people inside the building that don't want Pete Carroll there no more. And Tom has literally made it public here recently that he's going to be, once he's done with Fox after the season, that he's going to join the Raiders and spend more time in the off season, helping to look for the hires, looking for the things, trying to help build the team. Like Tom's going to try to put himself more into the building here to help fix the team. And I've said, like, you don't see Tom wouldn't come here to be in the building if he felt Pete was the hire. Pete would just go on, hire his next coach, and then they would go on, like that's what he would do. But in this case here, Pete came in here. They've already fired Chip. They fired McMahon. They need to fire Pete and the whole entire coaching staff underneath them and
Yes.
start over fresh. I've literally said, like, this next deal here, and this is why I believe Tom's coming into the building, and he's gonna get a younger coach for sure this time. Like, he's gonna get his coach this time around. And people sit here and say, like, man, Drew Alger sucks, dude. But I don't even know why you've seen that in the chat. But either way, man. Tom's going to most definitely get his guy this time around, and he's going to make sure of it. And, it comes down to a lot of things that are going to happen here in the next 2 games. Like, the next 2 games is the most critical part in this deal. And I've said Pete Carroll can pull another AP and go out here and try to win these last 2 games when they're most definitely winnable games. It can change the whole entire outcome of our draft, the way that we got to go into here and get our player, maybe our coach, everything. There's been talk about people saying, like, what if Pete's to stay here and they're to move off of Geno, all kinds of deals. I think Pete's done with the Raiders. Like, if I'm just being honest, I just think Pete's
think so too.
He has to be done with the Raiders. I mean, after this whole entire year, Pete is responsible for a lot of the problems here, and then he didn't even want to make change. So it's, again, like I've said, Pete's had control from camp to now. And, and people are going to sit here and say, like, yeah, but fucking look at how they played against the Texans here. We should give Pete another year and let him go because we believe that he can be a better coach, building forward. Well, I would say, like, okay, there's multiple reasons why I believe that we played competitive against the Texans. And one, I've said it a long time where people keep saying, oh, the O-line, this, that, and the other. I've said, like, if you look at the games where the Raiders came out starting the game and they were able to run the ball and pass the ball equally, like, they were able to play good games. It's when they start running the ball, they get tackled behind, and then they go into the next possession, like after they turn it over, go in the next possession, then they don't even run the fucking ball. Like, you start to become predictable in those assets where when, like, playing in the Texans game, first off, once you got Genty started going, then you can't be predictable no more, man. It's making the defense have to play off. They can't fucking play down just in the box. They got to be able to play neutral at that point because they got to be over the top and underneath themselves. At the same time, you get over top, Genty takes off, you blitz him, and he knows, like, he's out. Like, there's a lot of different ways that they can go about it. So I just feel like when you look at Greg Olson's offense and you looked at Chip Kelly's, like, if the reports are true that Chip was running a Steve Waldron offense for 23 from the Seahawks, and he was trying to learn it on the fly, he would probably look as bad as he did, when Greg Olson took over. He's just doing the book that he was taught all year, like the plays, everything like that. It's third time this dude's taken over for the Raiders and been able to play pretty decently offensive. So, I've always said I don't think Greg Olson's a slouch. I mean, I don't think I would give him a, like, permanent offensive coordinating job, but to have him on the team, like, permanent, might as well. I mean, he's been here 3 times just in the last few years. He's done pretty good.
Yeah, like, question for you, Dustin. Question for you. Now, you said Tom Brady didn't want Pete Carroll. Yeah. So who was that decision? Was it Mark Davis or was it John Scott?
I think what it comes down to is you have Mark, you have Spytek, you have Brady.
Mm-hmm.
And when Pete's the only hire left on the board that's worth a damn, I mean, everybody's going to sign off on the hire. You know, you can't go into the offseason without a coach. So I think at that point, when you don't have a good hire left, I think you just got to take what's there. And I
So
think
they had to roll with the punches and get Pete Carroll in the long
I
run.
think they were, in my opinion, they know he was old. That's why he got a 3-year with a 4-year option.
Okay.
They believe, like, they know he was old. They knew he wasn't going to be here long. So I think it was always like from the get go. You know, like, look, Pete himself knows he's not going to be here. If you look at the
Yes.
presser after
Yes.
if you look at the presser after the game,
I saw that.
somebody asked him, Pete, would you want to be here for the rebuild? And he was like, yeah, I would love to be here for the rebuild. You know, I got me and Spytek, you know, John, he said, get along pretty well, this, that, the other. And the first thing I thought when he talked like that in that pretense, first thing I thought was, why are you talking like that if you have a 3-year contract? That doesn't make no sense. Like, you're
No,
going
it
to be
didn't.
here no matter what, you know. So when you answered it like that, and he talks about like, oh, I don't listen to outside noise, this, that, the other, like
And
that
then, by the way,
answer,
his tone was he didn't sound confident when he said that, Nick.
I don't think you say that if you got your job. Why wouldn't you say like I'm gonna be here, so I'm gonna see it
Right,
through?
right,
You know, like I'm
right,
gonna see it through. I'm gonna be here. I have a contract.
right.
You know, like
Yeah,
that's the first fucking thing I would say. I'd be like, I have a
right.
contract till fucking further notice. You know, like so
Man,
when you ask me if I'm wanting to see this rebuild through, like I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be the face of the rebuild.
exactly.
So just how he answered it, saying like, you know, I like John a lot. I would love to see it through this, that. He already knows that there's a damn good possibility he himself ain't gonna be here. So
Yeah, his days are numbered.
I've
His
always said,
days are
like, I
numbered.
listen to people the way they talk. I mean, people are
Exactly.
gonna
Me too.
sometimes tell their own stories. So I don't think when you're confident in about what you're doing, I've said if you go back to a few weeks ago, I felt like Pete signed his own death warrant a few weeks ago because Pete was on the podium and he literally said, when they were talking to him, he said, I've never been in this situation. I don't know how to deal with it. Like, I don't know what it is. You know, like when you're trying to rebuild a team and build up a team, like you can't say words like that because when you say words like that, it's like, are you lost? Do you not know how to bring the team together? Are you only able to coach a good team? That's
Yeah,
why the Seahawks moved off. You know, like people, I don't understand why people ain't paying attention to the Seahawks. You know, like Pete wanted to keep around Lockett, what's his name, the linebacker over at the Wagner. You know, they wanted to
yeah.
keep a few players there in Seattle when they just a few years back when they were won all those games. I think they won like 5 games at the end of the season, but they still had a shit record. And Pete and Snyder started talking, and Snyder told him like, "Hey, we want to go with younger group. We're not going to hold on to these guys, and we want to go with the younger coach. And if you want to stay on, you can, but we need to make this transition." And everybody was thinking like, "Oh man, they're not gonna make it." Blah 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 blah. Like, look at 2 years later, they've offloaded the Pete Carroll. They got rid of fucking Russell Wilson. They brought in Mike McDonald and Clint Kubiak, and they're pushing fucking what the #1 seed in the AFC West. I mean, all in that fucking short amount of time. And then what did we go do? Picked up their trash. We just
Oh
picked
yeah.
up their fucking trash. And then we thought like, oh, we're gonna go fucking rebuild the organization. You know, like the writing was on the wall when they got rid of them. Like I've said it, there's certain organizations that if they make certain moves, you just got to be like, oh, that's fucking washed. You know, like if you got Snyder after going to 2 Super Bowls and everything, and he's wanting to move off, it's got to tell you something like Pete isn't there. And this is the things I've never understood. Like people are like, well, if Tomlin comes out, we should go sign him. Why? Why would we sign Tomlin? Like this is how I look at it. Tomlin been with the organization for a long time. He's been over there with the Seahawks or the Steelers for a long time, and he's won Super Bowls. He's built teams and everything. He's at the end of his run. He can't build the fucking Steelers back into a great organization, but you think he's gonna come to the fucking Raiders and do it? Like, that's the kind of shit I don't understand. Like,
He took over Bill Cowher's team.
yeah. When people run their run, it's sometimes in one organization. Sometimes people have bad starts, dude, and then they end up somewhere else, and then they have their run. But when you have your run in one fucking place and it goes and it comes to an end, there's a reason for that shit. Because, like I've said, if you ain't doing it with an proven organization, I've said this. I think the Steelers have only had 3 head coaches in the whole time of their merger. So from the 60s till now, they've only had 3 head coaches in that organization. They're a fundamental fucking team, fundamental organization, systems, everything. They've been that way for a long fucking time. And we're just thinking like, oh hell, if he leaves over there and comes here, he's gonna do that. No, the fuck he's not. Like you gotta take a risk, dude. Like, I feel like we're at the point, and this is why I feel like Tom Brady's coming up in there and getting ready to go do something, because I feel like Tom Brady wanted to go young the first time around, and he missed on it. But I believe, like right now, he's sitting there saying, okay, if we stay where we're at and we don't win another game for the next 2, we have the first overall draft in the NFL draft. So we're getting a quarterback 100%. And then Tom Brady's either picking between Fernando Mendoza, and then now Dante Moore is supposedly going to enter the draft, which is still yet to be decided. But there's a lot of people saying that he's most likely coming back. Yeah. Why are you fucking coming here and ask me that? Can you close my door, please? Close my door, man. Like, god damn.
Yeah, that was kind of like Alex Smith. They said that the 49ers would have got Matt Leinart over Alex Smith, but Matt Leinart decided to stay in longer to try to go for another Heisman Trophy. Of course, he didn't win the Heisman Trophy, and he ended up going to the Cardinals. And yeah, it's best. Sometimes players like to stay in longer so they can accomplish more.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, and increase their stock draft and everything. But
Dante Moore was intended to go back, and I think that's what he was going to try to do. But the problem is like something's going on in Oregon, because you have Dan Lanning that's still going to be the head coach, but you have Will Stein that's going to be leaving, going to Kentucky and being the head coach there. And then now all of a sudden you have multiple high star recruits, dude, that are in Oregon that are all transferring right now. So there's like 4 dudes just over that win at James Madison. There's like 4 dudes and they're already transferred out, hit the transfer portal. So I'm just thinking, like, why are they leaving? Even if Dan Lanning's still there, he's going to hire new coaches. It's just like if Nick Saban's over there fucking coaching Alabama and his coaches leave all the time, he's hiring new people. So it's not like they're not bringing new people there. So something in Oregon's going on, and people sit here and talk and they're like, well, we should go after Dan Lanning. Look, I like Dan Lanning, and I'm not going to sit here and say I want to go after him, but if I was going to go after a college coach right now, I would probably go after fucking Freeman, just because of the fact that Freeman has his whole entire squad still together. So if they were to make the transition out of college and then come here and coach, it would probably make more sense. But I think the thing people got to understand is like, when you're looking at getting a coach like Dan or Freeman, you have to have buyouts. You got to buy their contracts out, and then you got to buy the defensive coordinator and offensive coordinator out. You have to buy out all their contracts in college, and then not only do you buy out the contracts, so like Freeman, for instance, just to buy him out of Notre Dame is $20 million fucking dollars. So you buy him out for 20, you bring him here and you pay him 15. So just his contract alone, year 1 was $35 fucking million, and then every year from then on, you're paying him $15 million for 5 years or however long you did the contract. Which, like I said, sometimes if you got to pay a premium up front And look, dude, when you're doing a contract like that, so look at it like this: you pay the $35 million on him, then you're paying you're paying the defensive coordinators probably another $3 million to get him off of his, and then depending on it, so like just put it like this: so you have Will Stein that went to Kentucky. I think he got like somewhere around like $28-30 million contract. He's only getting paid like $5 million per year. But in order to buy out Will Stein's contract from Kentucky, so say you buy Dan Lanning, you pay $20 million, then you're giving him 15 probably easily just right off the get-go. And so you're 35 million in just on him alone. And then you got to go to Kentucky, and then you got to give up 30% of what his contract is. So if he's got $30 million, just for instance, you got to pay them $9 million. So you got to give Kentucky $9 million just to get fucking Will Stein off the fucking squad now. And then you got to pay him whatever money you're going to offer him, $5 million, $6 million. Obviously, it's got to be $6-7 million because you're going to leave there. And then they just did this with Chip. The difference is Lanning would be coming with his squad, so he has consistency with them. But again, then you got to do. Then maybe you can get lucky, and if you get Will Stein just got fucking Texas A&M's defensive coordinator, so he might be able to buy his contract, bring him here. So now you got Texas A&M defensive coordinator Will Stein, Dan Lanning. Like you can do that. Like, and look, it sounds good when you're talking about it. Like it can be a good option. If you're just looking at a solid already, not have to put in that kind of money. I mean, you're talking about a fucking 60 to $80 million just the coaching staff contracts, you know. If you went with Freeman, his contract's probably a little easier, so you can get all of those guys a lot cheaper, which would be probably the ideal. But I think the ideal contract is going after Clint Kubiak, because if you go after Clint Kubiak, you're able to say, okay, I give Clint 15, I don't got to pay you an extra 20. Then you got to say, all right, I'm going to do the 15 million to Clint Kubiak. Then, if you want to just say you got Brian Dabo, you're paying Dabo probably 6-7 million. Then you're saying, okay, I got Euro, you're paying him 6-7 million. I would rather pay them that money to them so they come here versus paying buyouts for 20 fucking million to coaches that have never even coached a day in their life in the NFL. So I don't know if I would want to make that big of a gamble right off the get-go. I would probably go with Clint right away. The only way I would consider the Dan Lanning hire if you were able to get Will Stein and all them is only if the Raiders were drafting Dante Moore and then they wanted to make that transition with the coach and everything here. But I don't know, man. Like, I love Dan Lanning, man. I think he's a great coach, but I would prefer to take Clint Kubiak before I would take him, in my personal opinion. I think Clint is just better overall. He's ready right now. He'll build the team right away. Defensive coordinators are as good as the offensive coordinators that carry him. So if they don't have an offensive coordinator that's everybody knows, I just think it's a big gamble. And I'm not going to say you don't know people here in the NFL, so you wouldn't be able to get a Dabo or somebody. So I'm not going to say that. I'm just going to say nobody knows. So I think it's too big a shot in the dark. And I think, dude, I'm telling you, like, Tom Brady wants to make change here 100%. They're going to get the quarterback. And, you know, this is why I've said, like, in the topic that Tom Brady didn't want Pete, but Jaxson Dart. People got to consider, like, there's been a lot of talk around the fact that if the Giants keep the number one spot, that they draft Fernando and then they trade fucking Jaxson Dart. And people are like, oh, why would they mess up that chemistry? And why would they do that with this? Yo, listen, Jaxson Dart's only been there for a few games. He hasn't really done much. He has scored points and put up yards, but their wins ain't fucking showed up at all. He's already had multiple concussions, dude. Like, I don't think he's a quarterback just any coach can coach. You know, like, you have to have a coach that's going to be strict with them. And I just kind of think New York's looking at it like, look, we can trade fucking Jaxson Dart because they're his team. We would probably take him. I would take that fucking guy right this second, because if you got Clint Kubiak, he would tell Dart, like, we don't need to run like that. Like, he can teach him not to have to run as aggressive. And so, long story short, there's been talk that between the Giants and the Titans, that if they both hold the number 1 pick, that they would trade out their quarterbacks. So they would swap Cam for fucking Fernando, or they would swap Jaxson Dart for Fernando and then just trade them. Trade the player, because they said if the new coach comes in, if the quarterback don't fit them and they don't want. I just think Tennessee is saying that about Ward because of the fact that Ward just speaks his mind. He just speaks out. He just tells them motherfuckers, But look, man, if the Raiders win 1 game, we fall to 7. And if we win 2 games, we fall to 10. And if we fall to 10 or 7, we're not getting the quarterback. And then the draft capital is just going to be too fucking much to be able to get back up in there. But if they were to come to us and say, like, hey, man, we'll trade you a second round, trade us a second round, you can pick up Dart. Like, I would be all about that fucking deal, because Dart's already played half of a season, dude. We would pick him up. I think Dart's a great quarterback. I mean, I would take that dude in a fucking heartbeat. And I wanted us to get him. I targeted that fool in week 3 last year, made multiple posts, lives, everything about the Raiders should target Jaxson Dart to the Raiders. I've said it with the players we got, Ashton Genty, Bowers, fucking Tucker, all that. Oh, we would fucking kill it, dude. Like, Dart would kill it, but you have to have the right coach for him too, and I've said Kubiak would be a good fucking pick for him, so I would just think, like, there is a possibility that if we win these games, we move ourselves out of a quarterback, and then we go into a fucking dilemma that it's like, okay, do we keep Geno or do we trade for Kyler Murray? Fucking, because that's the only guy coming off that people are saying, like, oh, get him.
Hell no, Kyler Murray.
No.
Yeah, fuck that little dude.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That little Mickey Mouse motherfucker wouldn't last 1 minute.
No.
I've said it.
Hell no to Kyler Murray. No.
Kyler Murray needs a stepladder. He can't even do the offensive line.
No, he needs a booster chair.
I mean, he's probably the same height as me. He's not that tall.
No, he's not.
That's why I say, like, we don't need to keep going through recycled trash people, like, I've told people that are around me that I talk about football all the time, and had the conversation multiple times. The Raiders just need to go back to 98 and reset. That's all they need to do. They just need to say, okay, we've already been through all the wash. We've been through all the coaches. We've been through all the quarterbacks, everything. It's time that we just reset like 1998. We just go out, find a young fucking coach, dude, that's fucking up and coming, knows what he's doing, and then we fucking hire him and we let him come in and reset the fucking team. Like, they got to put their own system in, their own shit that run it, like, that's why I've said from the day one, dude, like, the Pete Carroll and Spytech deal is just another Josh McDaniels and fucking Ziegler deal. One's telling the other what to do, and they're just having to do it, And people are like, oh, well, they say when they talk that they're working great together. Okay, show me any fucking GM or coach that literally is like, yeah, I don't like that fucking guy. Like, when you got to work for a team, it's PR, dude. Like, they got to fucking talk certain ways about certain people regardless of their feelings. More times than not, what happens is they talk that I don't like this guy to a reporter offline, and then that guy goes off and's like, hey, he said he doesn't like him type shit, So I would just say, like, if the Raiders are serious and Tom Brady's serious and going into the offseason here, I think you just got to make sure that they pull the trigger the right way here, dude. Like, you can't fuck this one up. You're going to have to move off of Pete. There's a lot of conversation talking about Pete retires, they'll give him a fucking advisor role in the organization. So basically, if Pete just resigns this year and retires, they'll give him a place in the building, and then he can help build the franchise back that way. But they don't basically want him on the field come this next year, and he's not going to be on the field, nor will Geno. So they've already talked about that Geno's contract. They're going to try to fucking find a trade partner for him. If they can't find a trade partner for Geno, going into this offseason that they're just going to basically eat the cap and cut him and go in a different direction. Pete, the same thing. They want to come to a visor deal, be able to still pay him his contract, just keep him up in there. And then they go on to the next hire. So there's a lot of things they want to try to move around here, but that's if Pete's willing to do that, to even begin with. And then it'll come down to just firing his ass and look, I don't know if someone has the balls to do it or not in the building, which I hope somebody is. I hope that's why Tom's coming out and is like, hey, we got to make a move here. And like I've said, if you just look at Pete's presser after that Houston game, he sounded for damn sure like he's already been told. So you don't say those things like if you're the coach, So, and people, like I was going to say earlier about how they talk about the Texan game, like how they played and that they were coming on. No, what I think happened is first off, Pete gave Patrick Graham the responsibility of the defense this week. It was Patrick Graham's defense, dude, that fucking held the Texans like they did and played, dude. Even in Friday's practice, dude, there was all kind of people talking about it and insiders, podcast, all kinds of deals that the defense looked way different. It was on pace. And Pete even said after the presser again that he let Patrick Graham take the reins and run the fucking defense this week. And he even said, like on Friday, they even heard through the voice themselves, through the man himself, being Patrick Graham. And I just think Pete Carroll's held the team back in all kinds of ways this year. From one, not letting Patrick Graham run the defense the way that he should have fucking been able to run it all year long, holding back the offensive line by just standing on his son's back, which I get it. It's his kid. He's going to back him regardless. But there's a difference when you back a guy until he ain't doing a good fucking job no more. And then regardless of his son or not, you got to tell your kid he sucks when he just sucks. Like that's how you make him better. But at the same time, freaking the quarterback.
Yeah, it's called tough love.
Yeah,
it's called tough love.
This is like 30 different mistakes by Pete. By Pete, then he even fired his offensive coordinator, special teams coach, which I've never liked McMahon, so I'm glad he fired him. But
Yeah,
I told people with the chip deal, I was like, man, in multiple film, if you watch all 22, there's all kind of receivers open in Chip's offense. Like it's not like every single dude's just covered and nobody could. I've said this has been a Geno issue the whole entire year, a Geno issue more than it's the O-line and so on. I mean, it just shows, like I said, when you have a coach that's confident in what he's doing, they're able to get something done. But I've said Greg Olson's only doing it because we're already past the stipulation part. He's mixing a run and pass game like it should have been the whole entire time, and he's not getting off of it. And what did Genty go for? 188? Went for 188 yards, 2 touchdowns, passing and receiving, first halfback, and like fucking he's only one of 2 to ever even do to be where he's at. I think he's only one of 2 halfbacks that's rushed for over 1,000, fucking received for X amount, and then has like 4 rushing touchdowns in a rookie season. This fool's got 10 touchdowns over 1,000 yards already, and behind the fucking worst O-line in the whole league. And you got Raider fans that got the balls to say, oh, fucking Genty's a bust. Like, you're stupid as fuck. Like, you're just stupid as fuck. Like, I think our fan base is dumb as hell, but at the end of the day,
when you say the fan base said that Ashton Genty is a bust.
I don't think it's a bust.
No, I tell you somebody who was a bust that played for the Raiders and came out of LSU in 2007. He was a bust. Jamarcus Russell. Yeah, that was a bust.
I think he was, in my opinion, I like Ashton Genty. I have nothing against him. I don't think he was worth the 6th pick of the first round. I think, even though there were teams that were willing to take him early too, these days running backs are usually taken in the mid-first round, not the early first round. But although Genty, that pass I saw, I couldn't watch the game because the Steeler game was over the Raider game. I mean, I saw that deep ball pass though in the highlights, and Ashton Genty caught the ball. I think Genty could have been utilized a lot better, even if he didn't. It doesn't matter if he didn't get 1,000 yards or not. It's not. It's about productivity. Not he didn't get utilized right. We were using him as a north and south runner. He's not a north and south runner. You have to use him everywhere. You can't just you have him run in the middle. He's a small running back. He's going to get hammered, you know. But if you do misdirection runs, outside sweeps, you've got to get that running game going on. He's got speed. Once he gets that momentum building, good. But
you can't tackle him once he's in the open field. You're not.
Well, yeah, he's very hard to tackle down. He becomes slipperier. He's got strong legs. He can when you try to arm tackle him.
He's so strong, dude. Like, dudes try to. I mean, look at both of his big plays. Two dudes on both of his big plays had him dead to right on the outside. Fucking dude jumps on his shoulder and fucking Genty just get off me, bitch.
He can hurt guys once you pass by his scrimmage.
Genty is you imagine if Genty was behind a fucking top 15 line, he would fucking have
he get
yards easy. He'd have 20 touchdowns in a season. Like, this dude would be a fucking killer.
I think
Rudy. That's it. Y'all boys be easy, man. And Merry Christmas.
All right, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Harvey.
Yeah, I think if Genty was able to have the people behind him, that guy would be a fucking killer. And I think if we get the right coach with the right people, he's going to be able to do it too. You know, like, I think we have part of the fixings. We just need the finishing off. You know what I mean? And I think, like, there can't be a scenario that comes into this off season where they're talking about bringing Gino or fucking Pete back here. You know, like, it's just got to be. And Porter Miller, you know, you say, like, what are they going to do with Geno Smith's contract? All right, look, dude, they paid him $66 million. 66. Even if we were to go into this year. If we were to go into this year and say we only, so what is the contract? I think it's if we don't sign them, we eat $18 million, or we sign them for $8 million and we keep them for the year. And then next year we have zero dead cap hit to release them. So this is the scenario for this year. We trade them and then split the contract with somebody else, or just trade them somewhere else and they take the contract. We cut him, hope that someone picks him up in the waivers, and then that way we're not stuck paying the contract. And then if he goes through waivers and nobody picks him up, we're stuck with the contract. If it was me, I don't give a fuck. I'll eat $18 million for 1 year. I don't think that's nothing. I mean, from all the people, every contract that we've had, Rodney Hudson paid him $19 million something per year for like 4 years. So if I'm sitting here saying, like, and it probably wasn't 4, it's probably like 3 years, but long story short is, we've paid that kind of money, and we were in high dead cap this year, so it's all going to be gone. So if you're just telling me we're eating Gino's fucking $18 million dead cap hit, I can care less. I mean, let's be real. We had $32 fucking million on the books this year, and we didn't even try to go out and get an O lineman to fix the fucking team. So I think at this point I can care less for 1 year, $18 million to get rid of Gino. And you gotta think about it like this, man. The Broncos came in with Sean Payton, dude. They gave Russell Wilson a way bigger contract. And Sean Payton was like, fuck this guy, I'm fucking getting rid of him. He ate that shit, and they're a way better team for it. So sometimes you just gotta cut fucking bait, man. And the contract is just the game, you know?
Yeah, I think I understand Colt Miller. He's a good blocker and all that, but when you're injured a lot, you know, he's been on the team since 2018, and he's been here for like 8 years so far. Lineman. Yeah, I like Miller. If he could stay healthy, that's the one thing I understand. I can't get mad at people because I've always been supporting Miller. But, I don't think he wants to go to another team. I think he just wants to stay with the Raiders. And if you were to just cut him and stuff, then he just then you got to do what you got to do. I don't think he wants to be traded. I don't know if he has any control over he doesn't have trade rights like Derek Carr had trade rights, which is why Josh McDaniels couldn't trade Derek Carr. Derek Carr said no, and they released him, and that was the stupidest thing they ever did. And I remember
Bolton is healthy going forward, like for long
Colton
term.
Miller.
If he's not healthy for long term, there's a big conversation that has to happen in this offseason before his trade value gets out of fucking reach too. Like this offseason has to have a really big conversation that, okay, are you trying to put a Band-Aid on it again for the 20th time in the last 20 years? Like, are you going to try to go and say, hey, we have a few pieces here, let's try to fix around it? And you got to start thinking about it. Like, look, man, I like a lot of the players here. Like, I like Max. I hate saying when I say these things, like, I have nothing against Max, dude, but if you're looking to say Colton Miller is starting to become injury prone, you're going to have to offset him. So you're going to be picking up multiple people on the O-line to try to fix it. Look, when the team gets to a certain point where there's just so many positions that need to be picked, there has to be the talk about, man, the only way to fix it is to get multiple first-round picks so we can pick those positions again and hope we hit on them with a high pick. If you're sitting there saying, okay, we're going to use our first-round pick for the next 5 years to replace these guys, well, you're going to be there a hell of a lot longer. Like if you're using Max, you're getting two, maybe 3 fucking first-round picks in the first 3 years on top of your pick already. So that's two firsts every year for 3 years. That's 6 first-round picks for 3 years. You got to start weighing the options that, man, you're going to have better success to refill the roster by making those moves. You're not going to win now. I think if you don't hold on to that, it's kind of like this win. If like people don't realize, man, like nobody wants to lose. We've already lost enough. But you can't be at the fucking goddamn 2 games away in the season, be sucking all fucking year long, and then just go win 2 pointless fucking games that take you off the first overall pick in the draft. I mean, there's got to be a goddamn owner in there saying, like, don't win those fucking games. Like, you're fired anyways. Like, don't win the fucking game. Like, what good is the fucking win? The win ain't going to give you your job. You know what I mean? The only thing the win does is it's another AP fucking move. The win hurts the organization. It's not helping the motherfucker. Like, if you go from the 7th to the 10th pick in the draft, when you're trying to hire a head coach and tell him, like, well, we got Geno fucking Smith over here for next year, like, how intriguing is that? Like, look at it, dude. You think Ben Johnson and motherfucking Mike Vrabel go to other teams if we had a quarterback here? No, they probably come here to the Raiders. At least one of them do. But you know what both other teams had that we didn't have? Rookie quarterback fucking on a goddamn team. Like, we don't even have the main position that plays the goddamn main position in all football. We don't even have one. So I think, man, like your first overall pick's got to be massive here, man. Like it's got to be massive. I mean, the biggest issue for the Raiders has been quarterback. I've literally said, like, I can't count how many shows I've said the Raiders never have success signing free agent quarterbacks due to the whole history of at least the last 20 years. Any person you've picked up in free agency, and I'm not saying, before John Gruden was here. I'm saying after John Gruden was here in 2001. Anytime we picked up any quarterback, they all sucked. None of them did good, dude. Fuck, couldn't win shit, dude. We're broke back fucking Raiders, dude. Like the whole time. The only time that we really had success with the quarterback in that time was Derek Carr when we fucking drafted him, but year 2, not year 1. But Derek Carr was the only success that we've had in that time span of quarterbacks, and it was a drafted quarterback. So I believe, like, if we're going to try to get the organization to at least give it a shot, it's got to come from a drafted quarterback. Like, I think you need to get a guy here that's young. He's trying to believe. He's trying to buy in. It's like Jaxson Dart. People don't like that he runs because he gets knocked out in some deals. But I'd be like, fuck, that's kind of what we need here right now. Like, fucking bring him over here and fucking get knocked out. Like, he's going to run and pick up plays and win games. But the problem with the Jaxson Dart is like he might not be here some games, and if he ain't here in the playoffs, that's a big fucking loss to the team.
Yeah, it depends on the coach.
Yeah, we don't need to be hitting up fucking Giants or whoever has that pick saying, "Whoa, we'll give you 4 first-round picks to get up there." You know, like that's the kind of shit that just makes me sick to my stomach. Where it's like, motherfucker, if we just lost those 2 games, we get up there for no draft pick. Now you want to go win the fucking thing and then offer up 3-4 first-round picks and try to get a quarterback. But keep in mind that the Dolphins tried hitting up the Bengals when Joe Burrows was on the clock. The Dolphins offered the Bengals 4 first-round picks for Joe Burrow, and they turned them down. So just because you offer picks or not doesn't mean the team's willing to take it. And there's a lot of talk that they would probably, like I said, they may take a quarterback themselves. So I don't know, man. There's a lot of shit going to go on here in the next. I just think we got to be careful about how this is going to end, and we got to be careful about how we're looking at this as a whole. You know, are we trying to fix the team now, or are we trying to suck for a few years and then fix it? You know, and then if that's the case, why is Tom even wasting his time to come out of the fucking deal in the off season to try to help? Like, if you're just going to suck and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know about the Giants. It depends on who they hire as a coach. With the new coach, it was just like with Arizona when they hired what's his name. They drafted a quarterback in the 3rd or 4th round pick, and then they drafted Kyler Murray and they fired the head coach, and they went with Kyler Murray. But this other guy was a little more of a bust on Arizona, even though it was just 1 year. And I think with Jaxson Dart, I don't think he will be gone, in my personal opinion. I also think Tennessee's quarterback, I mean, you got to be patient with quarterbacks. Tennessee's Cam Ward, he started playing pretty damn good. The Titans had a close game against the 49ers before they beat the Chiefs, but beating the Chiefs didn't mean anything. But that game against the 49ers, though, just showed that Cam Ward is going to play better next year. I mean, these young quarterbacks, when they play in, they're going to struggle. To me, I would learn from kind of like the Chiefs a little bit. If you get a junior quarterback, the best thing to do is set them for a year and then play them next year. But if they're a senior quarterback instead of a junior quarterback like a Derek Carr, they play right now because they are more seasoned out. These guys, they got to they're a little raw and they're not ready for that yet, you know. But most junior quarterbacks, we've seen it before. 2 draft picks that were junior picks that played terrible in their first year. It was Jameis Winston and even Marcus Mariota. They didn't play really good, and then Mariota started playing good until he met the Steelers, you know, and then he ended up going to our team. But Mariota, I think when they started as a junior, they didn't have a lot of play time in college like senior quarterbacks when they play at least 3 to 4 games. When you have that 4-game advantage, that's where the quarterback's ready to play even in their rookie year. Like Derek Carr, he was in Fresno State for 5 years and he played 4 games and he was ready to play. He was ready. He was ready for Freddie, and he was really a 1st-round pick, not a 2nd-round pick. He was drafted really late. They just looked at him as a sorry quarterback because he was in Fresno State and that he was the younger brother of David Carr, and they all thought he's going to suck just like his brother. And his brother didn't really suck. It just that he was on an exhibition team that would have killed any other quarterback. There was nothing around him, and that's why he got sacked 72 times, the NFL record, you know. But like I said, the Raiders could if the Raiders do win, it's like if we do win, it's going to hurt us from going for a quarterback, like you said. We've got to lose, and I think the hardest team to lose to, and it's really bad saying we need to lose, is the Chiefs, because they don't have Patrick Mahomes and they don't have Uncle Rico, garbage Minshew, all they got is some other guy, and it could be just a close game, and it's like you want to win, but you really want to lose, To lose is to win. That's what it's about right now. And if we lose to the Chiefs and the New York Giants, we get that first pick. And I think that we lose to the Giants, but I'm worried we're going to lose. We're going to win against the Chiefs.
That's bad.
And I never ever say that. I would say that we got no chance against the Chiefs. No Patrick Mahomes, no Uncle Rico.
The Giants have a good defense, so they should be able to get to, and disrupt it. So I think the Giants have a good defense. The thing is, I just don't know, like, do they make the change here? Does things start to click here? And like I said, I don't care if Pete wins or not. I think you still can't beat them, man. Like, you can't come on at the end. And if you win the Chiefs game, I think you just gotta say that game don't mean shit, because first off, you don't even know who the quarterback is. So I know who the quarterback is. Just passed the waiver this morning, and he's on the team, and then he's got to learn the team in a week, to come back out. So I'm just saying that he's probably going to lose the last two games, which I told people a while back that don't be surprised if he's don't make the playoffs because out of our quarterback, because that's what they would do.
Yeah.
There's also nothing saying that the Giants, they win here and we win. We still have the second, when we play the Chiefs. So I think we still have the second pick. We just don't want to. We don't want to win-win. If we win-win, we're in trouble.
Well, the Chiefs are going through the same thing the 49ers went through. They had a lot of injuries, and injuries plagued the 49ers, and they didn't go to the playoffs last year. And the Chiefs, before Patrick Mahomes got hurt, they had injuries on their O-line. They didn't fix the situation very well with the injuries. They were good at gameplay and all that, but when you have injuries, that gameplay don't mean anything. They got hurt. The O-line wasn't protecting, and what happened? Patrick Mahomes ends up running for his life, and then he gets hurt from running, and he messes up his ACL. And then Uncle Rico gets a similar injury just like him. But, that stuff does happen. But like I said,
I see the same thing too, bro. Like, I feel like we're on a win-one, lose-one, man. Like, I definitely see this.
If we do win one, my saying, I would do this. This is how it outbid everyone else if the Giants become the first pick of the first round or anybody. I do agree, like, the Crosby thing is very attractive. You put the Crosby trade, like, say, with New York, we beat New York, and then we beat the Chiefs or whatever. You trade Crosby to the New York Giants. You get their first-round pick. Then we have 2 first-round picks next year, and then the year after that, we have a 2-year. We have another first-round pick of the Giants, and that would be a most attractive trade. And the Giants would take that over anyone else because Crosby has a lot of value. We give up Crosby, get a first-round pick of next year, and the year after that. Then there you go.
Compared Max with that kid they just drafted this year, that edge player, I can't remember his name right now. They drafted a little badass that's over there. I can't remember. So if you were to put Max there to help that kid develop, because that kid's been in trouble multiple times. He actually had to sit out a whole entire quarter 4 times this year because he's either fell asleep in class, fucking not paying attention, not learning Bill. Mirabdullah, is that Mirabdullah? Fucking, God, what is that guy?
I could look him up. Let me see. I forget that I'm using a tablet, not a laptop, because my laptop I go super fast. Now I got to use my phone. Let's see.
Abdul Carter, I think is his name. Abdul Carter.
That sounds like he was drafted. Abdul Carter. Yeah, it might be him. That sounds like it. Let me see. Let me type his name out.
Abdul Carter, something like that.
Abdul Carter. It says linebacker, but he's an edge rusher, probably.
And if you were to put Max over there with him, it would be real damn good. So I would just say, like, that's the only thing that you're going to be able to try to weasel out of anybody is going to be that deal. If you feel like that's your point, but if you sit here and say, like, hey, man, we're probably going to start next year too, so we just go after O-line, linebacker, receiver, corner, whatever they feel value at that point, then you go that route. But I think that's the wrong route, man. Like, I think we got to tackle this problem sooner than later. And if it's going to cost you a little bit of draft capital, then so be it. You have 10 fucking rounds of picks right now. Use some of them, trade up, get better value on picks, and get them to start developing fucking people. You have $170 million in cap. Like, you can build a team pretty decent. I don't think it's going to hurt to give up a first round pick for your future quarterback for the next few years, you know. So for me, I just think in this draft, you have to be aggressive. Look, if you get Dante Moore or Fernando Mendoza, you're going to be just damn fine. You're going to get a coach. You're going to get a head coach. A head coach is going to want to coach one of them two fuck guys. So I don't think that's an issue, and I think it becomes even more intriguing that Clint Kubiak that okay, they won those games, so we have some tape to show like, yeah, we have a good team here a little bit, but we're going to give up a few draft picks for a year or two because of the quarterback. Like, I think it's more justifiable to the coach to know that's what you're doing. So for me, I don't think like I said, I would do whatever it takes to get that quarterback this year. You know, like you could wait till next year and have Archie or all these other guys, but there's nothing saying that you're going to be in the top 10. And then not only that, your draft cap's going to probably get way more crazy when you're entering a dude like Archie Manning's name. And someone gets the first pick without a fucking, and they don't need a quarterback, you know, like that. You're going to be giving up 5-6 first round picks. You know, you'll probably see a record. So I just don't feel like we want to be in that kind of conversation, you know. So there's too many players here. Like, you can get Maeda, you can go out here and get fucking Fernando, Dante, fucking, you can pick up Slur Robinson probably later on in the draft, dude. Really good fucking arm. You have all kinds of quarterbacks that you can pick up here that can end up being better. I mean, if you're just being honest and look at players that came out of last year, it's Tyler for the Saints is playing good football, you know, and he was a second round pick. So I don't know, you know, I think it just matters on who we get and if we have somebody here to train them. Like I've always said, I think it matters on the coaching staff. So that's
I think I would prefer going for the gold and go for the best quarterback instead of second best. Although there were 2 quarterbacks, or I should say 3 quarterbacks in the draft. I forgot what year it was, 2003 or something. It was with Eli Manning, Phillip Rivers, and Big Ben Roethlisberger, because those were the 3 best quarterbacks in the draft. Yes, all 3 of them did go to the playoffs. 2 of them went to the Super Bowl. You know, except for Phillip Rivers, he never went. And but Phillip Rivers was a great quarterback. He was more precision than the other 2. But he was on the Chargers at the time. He was there during Marty Schottenheimer, and then he was with what's his name? He took over Marty's whole team. He used to be our coach, and I never liked him. forgot what his name was. And then
For
also,
who and when?
it was after Marty was fired. They got rid of him. He was the one that drafted Phillip Rivers. What was his name? He was on our team. He was hired after we fired Bill. God dang it! God dang it! Callahan. We fired Callahan. He was gone, and then we got him, and he got rid of Rich Gannon, Tim Brown, and Jerry Rice.
You're saying we didn't hire Marty Schottenheimer? Is that
No. He was hired after Marty Schottenheimer by the Chargers. I forgot what his name is. He originally was a part of the Cowboys team. He was offensive coordinator.
You're saying North
Turner. But he took over Marty Schottenheimer's team. His team, Marty built that team up. He built up the defense and the running game and everything. The only problem with Marty Schottenheimer was he couldn't follow through. And what North Turner did smart was keep all of Marty Schottenheimer's guys, and that's what he did. And he tried to utilize them. And he took the team to the playoffs a few times, but wasn't that good. And then it was Land something. I forgot what that other. He was a former Bronco player, something Land, and he sucked. And they still went to the playoffs, though. That's a thing that pissed me off until Gruden came in, and then the Chargers never went to the playoffs. They stopped going.
Anthony Lynn wasn't it?
Yeah, he was a former donkey.
Yeah, I think his name was Anthony Lynn.
Yeah, but man, once they got Jim Harbaugh, man, that was the Chargers' destiny. Was like it's the golden age. We're like still in that dark age, and I'm saying it like this though. Depending on who our head coach is, it can't be Pete Carroll. I do agree with you. They can't keep this guy. He's not a winner anymore. He's old. He's outdated. And he's keeping something that doesn't work, and he wasn't willing to make a change. And when you don't make changes, you got to get rid of him. I think we're going to play him out. It doesn't matter. Even if he wins 2 games, he's still gone. He's gone. He was gone the moment that I think the moment we were we didn't win. I think we were like 12-10 or 12-8 or no 2-8 maybe or 2-6. I think he was going to be gone. It was just a matter of it was just like then they decide, well, if you can do better without Chip Kelly, then we'll and he didn't do any better. He still didn't. Maybe the team improved better with play calling, but we still lost. The progression wasn't really that great. We lost to the Eagles, who were a powerhouse team. They just murdered us, just like the Chiefs did, 31-0. And then we play against the Houston Texans and played a close game. But Houston Texans,
dude, their offense has sucked all year long. Dude, I've said the Broncos and Texans have the 2 things in common.
Yeah.
Is that your deal doing that?
Huh?
I think your mic is getting back real bad.
Let me check my.
Long story short, I believe that the Texans and the Broncos have the same problem. They have a really good defense, but their offense ain't been getting going at all this year. Bo Nix ain't been going with the Broncos offense, and CJ Stroud hasn't got going with that Texans offense. So I think they have the 2 best defenses probably in the league, but neither of them can get going offensively. So when they get into the playoffs, whoever has the better offensive team is probably just going to beat them. Both them dudes are going to go home, and they're both going to go home and be irrelevant, even with the best record and how good the damn teams were. So I don't know. I mean, I think the Raiders here, like, I don't want to lose, but I also don't want to win. Like, I want to be able to win any time that we can, but I just feel like we have to get Mendoza or more, man. Like, we have to get one of the quarterbacks for fucking once. Like, every team that's had any type of success of having recent success, all are quarterbacks on rookie contracts, all of them. So it's like if we're sitting here trying to better our team, like we got to start running that blueprint ourselves at some point. At some point we got to sit here and say, hey man, everybody that's had success in the NFL recently are all on quarterback friendly contracts, dude, where they draft a rookie and then they're able to put all that money in for the next few years and build up a team. And then by the time you're paying the quarterback at the end of those 5 years, you're able to move on from a player. So I don't know, man. We got to figure it out. But if their main
How's
goal
my
is
sound?
to compete in any way.
Yeah. Sorry, I came back. I decided to fix my sound.
Heck yeah.
I was picking up your audio. That's probably what was going on.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's like
I fixed
right
it.
now I can hear me in your deal, but at least it's not sitting here just boom.
It's because I was picking up your sound. Let's see. I'm at. Okay, there we go.
Later on.
How's the sound now? Can you hear me better now?
Oh, I can hear you. The problem is I can hear me and your mic now.
Oh, well.
But it is what it is. We're going to get back here soon anyway. I might get up early, but long story short, like we got to make the right move here. We got to make the right move here going forward if we're going to try to better the team over the long run here. So we just got to be smart about this. I mean, I know, like Pete even said in the presser, he's like, I don't even talk to this stuff to my players about the first round pick or not. Max said publicly that he's like, I don't give a fuck about the first round pick. I want to win. So I'm not sitting there trying to tell a player that's been losing all year to not win, but fuck, man, it's like 2 more games to finally get our quarterback, and it just seems like the Raiders just always fuck it up, dude. Like we always fuck it up. Listen, Geno will probably have a career fucking day against the Giants. He's probably gonna have career day. Motherfuckers like, this is the Geno I was supposed to be. This is the Geno I wanted you guys to see. Like, I can just see that shit coming, man. Like, I always have that luck. So, long story short, man, I just hope we figure it out one way or another. If we're at 10, we're just staying at 10. Like, either I feel like we just fuck ourselves every time. But you have anything you want to add to it before we get up out of here?
Sorry, I had to unmute myself. Yeah, I can see right now with this team, we've got to make some changes, but it depends on who our head coach is. It's too soon to say what would happen. But if we get a new head coach and Pete Carroll is fired, it's about a 95% chance we'll draft a quarterback. And, there's some players that will be gone. And like I said, Patrick Graham, I don't think he's a bad defensive coordinator. I just don't think he was being utilized right by Pete Carroll. I think he does better when he's upstairs than he is at the sideline. He's proved it before. Last year, he progressed really well upstairs. And any coach that decides to take a guy like Patrick Graham would know that you keep him upstairs. And Pete Carroll didn't care. And that's what I don't like. He doesn't look at the advantages. I mean, he put him at a disadvantage, and I just didn't like that. I think Pete Carroll's got to be gone. I mean, there's no way we can keep him. I know I've heard other people said, well, you got to be patient. It's his first year. No, he is supposed to turn a team over, not to take to the playoffs, but to have some sort of progression. And even my little brother said at first when I was in Alaska, he said, well, you got to give him time and everything. And he said, Rudy, you know what? I take that back. You guys got to fire him, because he saw how bad they were playing, and And that's coming from a Chiefs fan that told me that too,
Yeah,
and it's
you
real
gotta
bad.
fire him, all right, man. You can't fucking keep on that. You're just failing your team because if you keep him, he don't develop, and then now you got to redo the next one, and then you're just failing multiple years. By the time you have any success in it, it's 5 years down the road. I mean, I don't think you want to go down that road this time. I think, like I said, I mean, I truly believe Tom Brady is like, look, man, this shit's gonna start affecting me in my pocket. So let's go fix this problem. And I believe he believes the way he fixed it is just to go young. The front office all has a good connection together. So I think the coach, if they can get a coach like Kubiak that can gel with them well, communicate, build off of Spytek's roster, their draft picks. I mean, I think that's where you have your most success. So salute, James. Appreciate you, bro. But I just think
Salute, James.
those deals, that's what the way you got to go. I mean, you can't roll with Pete, man. You know why Pete is only playing the rookies now? Because a few weeks back he was getting criticized by beat writers, fucking content creators like us. I mean, everybody was fucking complaining. Spytek was complaining like at week 9 that hey, Pete and them ain't even playing none of the rookies like that. And then Pete, once they started losing, Pete's just trying to do whatever pleases them. And I don't think we need a coach to be a rah-rah guy. I think we need a coach that can develop the players, get some continuity out of them. And I've said it, dude, you're not going to fix both sides of the ball at one time. So you need to fix one side first and then work on the other the next year. The players you're just going to get, like, you can't go out there and think just because you're drafting or have 107 million that you're back in the playoffs. Like, I don't think you should look at it like that. I just think you got to take it year by year if that's what you're doing. But either way, you have anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, there's not much to say. Just that we got to lose. That's what we got to tank it for 2 more games. We got to tank. We got to out tank everybody.
And if we do, man, it's best for the franchise. But we'll have to wait and see. Nobody again wants to just do that, but it is what's best for the team at the moment. So, but outside of that, I really do appreciate all you guys showing up. Appreciate everybody in chat. Appreciate everybody, the mods in chat. Rudy coming on, everything. If you want to give a shout out for we bounce, we're gonna bounce out here.
Yeah. Shout out to everybody. Stay loyal to Raider Nation. Look, it's not a great year for us, but you just got to stick with the team, no matter how bad it is. You got to watch the game. If you're able to watch the game, you just got to, unfortunately, eat that shit meat sandwich and just suck it up.
Yep, win, lose your fucking jaw, man. That's how it goes. So, and it's just like I said. I mean, we just got to start making some moves for the future to get some wins, so you can at least feel happy about the losses. Like fucking straight up. So, I feel like this is probably going to be a very crucial off season. If we don't get it right, then I mean, if Tom and them ain't getting it right with everybody in there, then I don't know where you go from there. But outside of that, I really do appreciate all you guys. Appreciate always showing up. Appreciate you supporting. And outside of that, we'll probably catch you on Sunday after the game. Peace out.
Later, everyone.